Draft, the Houston Texans select Zach Cunningham, linebacker, Vanderbilt.
All right, so Vanderbilt, Zach Cunningham goes. Mel, this guy is only the 7th consensus All-American in 127 years of Commodore football.
Tell you what, you talk about disrupting, distracting a quarterback, getting after a quarterback. You know the Houston Texans can do that. What Zach Cunningham does at almost 6'4", with the longest arms of any linebacker I've ever graded, is get in those throwing lanes and really be a factor against that quarterback throwing the football. He ranges sideline to sideline. Now, he's not a guy who's going to really always wrap up, and he's a little inconsistent as a tackler. But when you look at him in coverage, he did an adequate job. He's had tackle after loss after tackle after loss. Watch him here. There's not a lot of great players around him on that defense. They're a well-coached, disciplined group, but he was the headliner. He was a signature performer week in and week out. He made plays. He led the SEC with 125 tackles on the year. As I say, when you talk about the size, the length, the 4.65 speed, the incredible athleticism, with that pass rush and his range and his size, he's going to be a factor again, affecting the ability of quarterbacks to do damage against that Houston Texans defense.
So they add Zach Cunningham to the defense that was #1 overall in the NFL. Without J.J. Watt, they get him back, and it sure looks like sooner rather than later Deshaun Watson will be on the field quarterbacking that Texas team. Stay with us. We're coming back. By himself.
With the 58th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Ethan Pocic, tackle, LSU.
I can just hear Seahawk fans everywhere saying, it's about time we invest in the offensive line, and they get a good center, Mel.
They do. Pat Elflein from Ohio State, I gave a little bit of an edge to as the top center in this draft. But Ethan Pocic, you think about versatility, a 3-year starter, 27 starts at center, 9 at right guard, 1 at left tackle. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. He defines what a swing man will be in the NFL, versatile enough to play just about any spot in a pinch. Saw him get bull rushed. He doesn't play with the proper pad level all the time. Auburn game was bothersome in that game. Twice he allowed a defender to disrupt the play, not because of technique flaws, because of concentration lapses. Now, he's got talent. He flashed early round ability, but he lacked consistency, and I think Ethan Pocic's value is going to be as a guy who can play a variety of positions, Todd.
Yeah, I think with Pocic, you have to look at 2015 tape too. He had a hip injury, suffered in August of 2016, and I think that's why his tape this past year wasn't quite as good. He is a smart football player. He tested extremely well on the Wonderlic, and he just understands the game. Great experience, and he's a winner. I mean, the guy was 25-12 as a starter at the center position. He understands the game.
Listen, Seahawks had the lowest number of cap dollars committed to the offensive line last year. They had to address it. By the way, 21 of 58 picks in this draft now have now come from the SEC. That is 36% of the picks from the SEC. Next closest is 10 from the Big Ten and Pac-12. Here we go with Kansas City.
To announce the Kansas City Chiefs selection, please welcome from Louisiana State University, wide receiver Carlos Carson.
With the 59th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Tanoh Kpassagnon.
Tanoh Kpassagnon, the DE outside linebacker out of nearby Villanova. Joe Phillips in the Eagles front office had the line of the year about Tanoh Kpassagnon when he said he's as body beautiful as they get, Mel.
He is. I think quarterbacks, they say, oh no, when Tanoh Kpassagnon comes their way. I mean, you look at a kid with a frame of 6'6.5", almost 6'7", 290 pounds. You watch them this year get into the backfield, wreak some havoc when his technique is sound. He had a career high in tackles with 45, career high in sacks with 11. He's raw, but he's talented, he's long, he's athletic, good rip move. I need to see more polish. Add that to his repertoire in terms of getting a little bit better technique, better secondary move. Effective against the run, plays with good effort, athletic, very intriguing prospect. I watched him at St. Francis, PA. He's a low level of competition, but there were times where he was dominant.
Watch it, Mel.
A little quiet at times for me, but he's a raw developmental player with huge upside, because there's not many defensive ends coming out of college with his size, his length, and his athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's rare in terms of the measurables, and you see the big hands, strong hands, ability to control blockers. He's got a powerful punch. He's just raw. He needs good coaching, and he needs to be developed. I think he can be an impact starter one day in the league. I think early on, he's going to be used as a situational player.
Look, the Kansas City Chiefs, look, they need disruptive defensive linemen. It's one of the areas where they were weak this past year, particularly right between the tackles. This is a guy, when you saw him down at the Senior Bowl, you thought, how does a guy this big come off the line of scrimmage this quick with this kind of switch and be able to keep his pads down like he can? This is the exact kind of profile that they'll be looking for, the exact kind of athletic ability and potential disruptiveness that they need.
Good pick. Good pick. Listen, he goes for where we have Justin Houston, Tamba Ali. They're going to put him in really favorable situations, and he is a smart kid. And there's the reaction. His junior year, he wasn't going to football camps. He was headed to the Future Business Leaders of America finals, working on a presentation on business ethics. He said it was sick. He's in the NFL now. That's pretty sick.